Pack of lies to make me look good. I'm just gonna tell you what happened.
On the outskirts of New York City lives a man named Yuri Orlov. Brilliant, with a crazy memory and an extraordinary ability to learn. But his intelligence is no match for fate. In a fictional country where the government is busy with corruption, cutting the people's budget for extravagant spending, and even mixing expensive fuel with cheap, low-quality fuel, talented people like Yuri never have a place. Being smart is important, but in a broken country, money is still God.
For the first 20-odd years of my life, Little Odessa was to me what it is to the Q train.
Yuri had just been fired. His life was falling apart so fast that he was forced to work at a restaurant owned by his mother and stepfather. There he lived with his adopted brother, Vitaly, a talented but naive chef.
Growing up in Little Odessa, murder...
Everything was monotonous, until one day a brutal shooting occurred in front of their restaurant. The bullet's impact opened Yuri's eyes. The world doesn't revolve around food and love. The world revolves around violence and those who monopolize weapons. That's where Yuri found his calling. He took his first step into the dark world, selling illegal weapons. By leveraging his stepfather's connections, Yuri obtained his first weapon.
My contact at synagogue landed me my first Israeli-made Uzi submachine.
The Uzi, a weapon more popular than the Happy Birthday song among criminals. His first transaction nearly sent him to the grave. The buyer pointed a gun at his face, finger on the trigger, and Yuri almost wet his pants. But that fear turned into an addiction. He returned home with a small profit, and a bullet he found in the hotel bed. He turned that bullet into a necklace, a symbol of the birth of a new monster. The business grew bigger. Relationships expanded. Yuri brought Vitaly in as a partner even though he was initially rejected because the business was at the heart of the black market. The turning point came when Yuri attended a fighter jet exhibition. It was there that he met the big arms dealer, Simon the Shark. Instead of being accepted, Yuri was thoroughly humiliated.
Twice? It's okay, they're talking. May I help?
Yes, a mutual friend.
Bullets change governments far surer than...
You're in the wrong place, my young friend.
And that insult fueled Yuri's ambition. For months, Yuri worked underground. Finally, he landed his most dangerous client, a United States general who needed cheap weapons for his private war.
When the United States leaves a war zone,
The war's old weapons depot flooded into Yuri's hands. Money flows like ammunition on the battlefield.
needed private wars.
Good to make your acquaintance.
What do you want to do, go more legit?
No, more illegal.
Yuri began to rise through the ranks. He had a secret container base full of passports, money from various countries, and a collection of illegal weapons.
Depending on who I was that day and the region of the world I was visiting.
But one major problem was beginning to close in on him. Jack Valentine, the incorruptible, upright, anti-bribery Interpol agent. And someone like that was the deadliest threat. Even though he was already a target of Interpol, Yuri became even more reckless. He sold to the mafia, got involved in drugs, was almost shot to death, and was even almost hacked to death by an impatient buyer.
Is never get shot with your own merchandise.
Vitaly slowly fell into drugs after stealing 1 kilo of bartered goods. Yuri found his sister in the women's dormitory room, her bones protruding, her eyes sunken, and only 150 grams of the goods she had stolen remaining.
We're gonna get you.
Even so, Yuri continued to protect him. He sent Vitaly to rehab, while he himself continued to run after the dark world that was increasingly calling his name. Amidst the hustle and bustle of money and blood, Yuri met Eva, a model he had admired for a long time. They quickly became involved. Money made everything easier. They got married, and for a moment, Yuri felt at peace. But peace in Yuri's world was only a pause before the next war. In 1989, the Soviet Union collapsed, and for Yuri, it wasn't a political tragedy, it was a gold mine. He flew to Eastern Europe and met General Dmitri.
Those 45 years.
A giant open weapons warehouse for 1,000 AK-47s, steel tanks, helicopters, fighter jets, all waiting to be bought.
Built for a war with America that never happened, to fire a shot in it.
Yuri became a legend, Lord of War. Simon returned begging for cooperation. Yuri flatly refused.
I'm just not good enough for you now.
Yuri's relationship with Dmitri ended tragically when Simon planted a bomb in the car that was supposed to kill Yuri. But it was Dmitri who died. Yuri returned to America with a heart full of anger and a warehouse full of money.
Stolen and resold from Ukraine alone.
He also entered the African market, meeting President Andre, a cruel leader who liked to kill his people just for breathing wrong.
You are looking for additional gun. There is no substitute. It will never jam.
You know, I think you and I.
The president paid not with money, but with blood diamonds. The more Yuri got, the deeper he fell, the less he could turn back.
Conflict diamonds are a common currency in West Africa, also referred to as blood diamonds, since blood.
On the other hand, Vitaly tried to survive after rehab. Unfortunately, the next tragedy was waiting. Yuri took Vitaly to Africa for the transaction so his younger brother could have his own money. But Vitaly refused to sell weapons to barbarians. He opened the crate of grenades, trying to sabotage the deal. However, his actions were discovered by Junior, the president's son. A battle ensued. The grenade exploded, and Vitaly died brutally. His body was riddled with bullets. His soul was lost in a foreign land. Yuri, heartbroken but keeping a straight face, carried his brother's body home in a coffin. At the airport, he was arrested because illegal bullets were found on Vitaly's body.
Yuri Orlov.
Jack Valentine finally caught Yuri red-handed, but before justice prevailed, someone entered the room.
Soon there's going to be a knock on that door, and you will be called outside. In the hall, there will be a man who outranks you. First, he'll compliment you.
The General of the United States, sponsor, protector, God behind the scenes. Jack was promoted. Yuri was given his freedom. Because in the real world, moral success never trumps economic gain.
Doing business with you.
I know that just because they needed me, that didn't make me a scapegoat the next.
Ava left. The family was destroyed. But Yuri's business continued. Because for a world that was always at war, for people who always wanted to kill, Yuri Orlov was the supplier of breath. The god of war who ensured that the bullets never stopped. And he knew one thing. As long as there was conflict, as long as there was greed, he would always be the winner. The end. A heart-pounding ending.